And it may take a long time to get the results, but when you get them, they'll last for a long time. Because I told her I wasn't going to stop hustling. But when she said that, that stayed on my mind. And so I'm going through the program, and I go through the program, and it was one counselor, and it was and she gave a class, and she said out of the 50 men that's in the program, that 2 of those men would make it. That was the statistics. It may be about 50 of y'all in here. When she said that, I was so determined. I had been so humbled down. I was so hungry for it. I said, I'm going to be both of them. On my graduation day, it was different brothers would come in at different times. So every week or two, it would be maybe 2 brothers that graduate. When they have a ceremony, they'll come up and say a speech or something. So one day, I'm sleeping in my bed, and I'm about to graduate at the end of that week. In the middle of the night, this poem comes to me. And I said, man, I should say this poem at my graduation. And then, so my graduation comes, I'm nervous in my day, and I get up to the podium, and I'm going to say this poem. I'm 21 years old. And so they say, hey, Robert, what do you got to say? And I said, I'm an alcoholic, but that's not all. Even though it's whooped my butt until it was raw. I'm the alpha and omega and everything between. I'm crisp and clean like a 20 from the money machine. My memory is relative and spans no space nor time. I obtain a nourished soul, replenished spirit, and sharp, sober mind. I'm not God, but I am his clone. The universe is my playground, in the world, my throne. I'm not confined to city nor country, for I'm worldwide. I may trip into Japan, stumble into Sudan, but I won't break my stride. Today, like every day, is my day. The war is underway, and I'm on the front lines with the K. I vibe with the moon and drink the sun. They say all men are dogs. That's not true, but I am one. I came with a plan and leave with a vision. I see you at the top, brother, if that's your mission. I hustle water to a well and smoke fire and hail. My game is now loving life, and I will prevail. I want my piece of pie. I'm hungry, so it won't be small. I'm a recovering alcoholic named Robert Anthony Watson. I am raw. And I said that, the brothers came up, lined up, gave me plays, hugged me, embraced me. And then when I left out this hall, I left out the hall, and there was a brother that came in there that I had seen on like at the events. He would always be minked up. He was tall and enviously handsome. The type of brother you only see on the streets, they're never in movies. And this brother said, and he wouldn't talk to nobody. And the other brothers in there from the penitentiary, they like, oh, this cats in here, they on the run. They was big stuff in the streets, but they hide because they got a ticket on their head. They gonna get murdered. And so the brother, but he wouldn't speak to nobody. So when I come out there, the brother's standing there, and he goes out to shake my hand. He said, brother, that was great. I didn't think I was in the right place until now. His whole face had changed. And he said, man, that was great, man. He was like, man, you're going to be great, brother. And he said, I know I'm in the right place. And I told that brother, I said, brother, just stick and stay. Just keep coming. You know, that was one of the greatest days of my life. At the lowest points of my life, a star shines brightest in the dark. Oh, what happened to the screen?
Turned off.
And so, I'm going to get back to the brush, but... Yeah.
What are these verses?
Oh, hold on, wait till it's over. I want to tell y'all about, now on this new path, it's going to take a little bit more than courage. It's going to take a little bit more than belief. It's going to take a whole lot of faith, or maybe just a little bit, but unadulterated, pure, 100% uncut faith it's going to take. So I want to know, I'm going to tell y'all a story about the difference between belief and faith before I go into this. Now, this is a true story. Now, it was a man, well, it comes from a true story here. It was a man back in the day, this might have been the 1920s or 30s or something. He was a tightrope walker. And that's when one of the guys that walk on the tightrope like this. And so he was stringing his tightrope across one of the parts of the Grand Canyon. And it was maybe like a quarter mile long in width. If you fell off, you would certainly die. And so he's performing for the people. Would be people on both sides watching him. So he's got this long pole, and he's walking through this walking down this tightrope. walks there, then walks back. He had a long pole like this. He walks there and walks back. People are like, oh man, you great. Then he takes a sack of potatoes and puts one sack of potato on one side of the pole, another on the other side of the pole, and then walks there all the way. It took him a long time, and then he walked real carefully. He walks back. People are, oh man, this guy has got courage. And then the next time, he has a wheelbarrow. And he has a wheelbarrow, and he puts the sack of the potatoes in the wheelbarrow, and he walks with the wheelbarrow on the string all the way. And then comes back and walks all the way. People, oh, you're marvelous, you're great. And he was like, next, he said, who believes that I can walk across there and back with a man inside the wheelbarrow? And everybody's like, I believe that you can do anything. And he was like, okay, do I have any volunteers?
No.
So it's a story, but faith is getting in that wheelbarrow. And that's the difference. So I had to start rebuilding my life. I ended up getting a job. But it wasn't easy. God put me on the rocky road. I end up getting back into college, but it wasn't easy. It was very hard. I was getting no more breaks in my life. I ended up graduating from college. And I remember I had to go to the dean of students or something like that. It wasn't easy. I ended up going, and I had to cry my heart out to him because I owed some money, and they wouldn't let me graduate. They let me do it. They let me take the classes I needed that next semester to graduate. I started cutting hair again. See, when I started sobering up, I started getting back to my old passions. I always was passionate about cutting hair. I started doing art again. I started drawing again. And I started coming alive again. And then, so I ended up graduating from college with a degree in business finance, but that about 6 months before I graduated, that's when the financial debacle happened. I already had a job lined up at a bank institution, but it was a freeze on all hiring when a little depression happened, a financial debacle. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? I said, well, I had built up a nice clientele from there. At that time, Barbara, I had managed the building. I had done a lot of things. And I said, well, I'm going to open up a barber shop. But I knew that's not really what I wanted to do. I knew I had something greater in me. And during the day, I would cut hair, and at night I would paint, and I would do things. But one day, wasn't nothing wrong with me. Hey, I want y'all to listen to this. One day, it was nothing wrong with me. My bills was met, everything was going good, or decent, mediocre. And I fell down, and I wasn't satisfied. And I just fell down, I just was like, on the couch one day, for no reason, just on my knees, I just started crying. I just like, Lord, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And then I heard a voice, and it was like it was inside of me, but yet outside of me, and it said, what do you want to do? And I looked, I said, what? I said, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. It said, Robert, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a businessman. I want to own my own business. That's all I ever wanted to do. When I was 5 years old, I used to dress up in my little Easter suit and get the newspaper, how they used to be folded back in the day, put under my arm, act like I was a little businessman. I would save all my money, I'd pull weeds, I'd paint rocks, I'd do whatever. I always had a hustling spirit. But I started working at 14 years old. And then so, after that voice said that, I felt a peace come over me. And I sat in the chair. I sat in this chair on the couch. I sat on the couch, actually, and I started rocking like I did when I was a kid, like this. And then I heard that voice say, why don't you make that brush? See, I had the idea for the hairbrush. I knew it could be a better type of hairbrush, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. How would I make a brush, and how would a hairbrush make any money? But I just started drawing it out. When that voice said, why don't you make that brush? A few days later, after I drew out the brush, I'm walking past this field, walking to school, and it was a freshly cut grass field, and it was a brand new looking 2x4 in the middle of that field. Now I worked on wood, done art on wood. I see them 2x4 and I say, I'm gonna make it out of this 2x4. I get it, I go around the corner. And the sisters, the nuns, was at this church around the corner. And they had an old file. It wasn't clean looking like this, it was a little rounded on one side, but a wood file. And I said, well, I can use the wood file to hew out the shape of the brush like I wanted. So I drew the brush on there and I started working it. The first brush I made, it's on the website, I made totally out of a wood file. I drilled the holes with a drill and I took the bristles with my fingers out of existing brushes. Like a Diana son, put some glue in the holes and glued them in there. I started using it on customers. I started getting better. I ended up getting a Dremel and started making them like that. And I would get stuff in there where I would make it more like this, you know, more professional looking. I would use it on customers. Customers say, what type of brush is that? I would never say I was the one that, oh, I got this from New York. It cost like $25. And then it was like, and they would say, and I just would get quiet. And they would say, man, where you get that brush from, man? Man, it's like this, man. I don't know, man. You wouldn't pay that much for it, would you? And then at the end, when they about to go, they say, man, tell me where you got that brush from. I want that brush. When I made the first one, it worked way better than I ever thought it would work. Because it grips and it pulls the hair. And you get waves all the way up to your crown of your head. That's why Crown Quality Products. The C in the crown, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. God gave me all of that. I was going to call it King Beauty. And I'll be the king of King Beauty. So grandiose stuff. But when my partner called and he said, what's the name to incorporate? And on that time on the radio, it was a shot there. It's like, crown me with your love. God kept saying, crown, crown, crown. Christ the King, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I'm just telling you my testimony. I've had a lot of Muslim brothers. I went city to city, state to state, selling this. I'm going to get into that. And it's just about what God has given me.